information was given to us. I just had to know where to put them in. So once we've done the asset disposal, we're now going to do the fixed asset note. First of all, let's just complete whatever we can with the information that's given to us. Important, remember, land and buildings will never have depreciation, so that must always be blank. It's also there with depreciation for the year, won't be anything, and at accumulated at the end won't be anything. So I can move on to vehicles. The total I've got there is the total of whatever's in the block. So it is 1,080,000 minus depreciation of something gave me 160,000. Again, like we did with the asset disposal, we can work back. We've got the answer, it's 160,000. Do the opposite with whatever's in the block. So it's 160 minus 1,080,000, and that gives me 920,000. Just very important, must be in brackets because it makes it less. The depreciation makes the value less, must be in brackets. So if I check myself, 1,080,000 minus 920 gives me the 160. With equipment, they give me the two figures in the block. I must simply do the calculation and put the total at the top. So it's 450,000 minus 180,000 gives me 270,000, which must come into the block. Okay, that is the only things we can do up until now. We've now got to go and look at the information. But already we've got a couple of marks by just completing the workings of the note. So let's go back to the question and first of all see what information they give me for land and buildings. Now the second bullet tells me during the year an invoice was received from Red Construction for 600,000 for additions to the building. Be careful, as long as it's additions, it is still a new building. Renovation or painting or anything like that has got nothing to do with a new building. That would just be maintenance or repairs. But this is addition, so it's new buildings, 600,000. So I must put it in under additions. There's additions, 600,000. They did not give me any information about anything sold or any depreciation will always be zero. Cost at the end would be the cost at the beginning plus any additions would give me the cost at the end. So it's 402,931 plus 600,000, and that gives me 1,002,931. I've got 1 0 too many in there. 1,002,931. Put it next to the cost price. Above the block must be the total. There won't be any accumulated depreciation, so the total will always be the same as the cost for land and buildings. So make sure you put the total at the top. You don't know where they give you a mark. May either be at the total or at the cost here. So if it was at the total and you leave it blank, you won't get the mark there. Right, now we can look at vehicles. Vehicles, there's no information of any new vehicles that were bought or any vehicles that were sold. So it is only the depreciation we need to calculate. To do that, we must first of all go back and see what method they used. Vehicles, 15% on cost price. So it's 15% on the cost price. Back to the answer. Okay, the cost price for vehicles, 1,080,000. So it's 1,080,000, and on that I must apply the percentage, which was 20%. So I simply multiply 1,080,000 with 20%, 20 over 100, and that gives me 216,000. Good, but before I said that is what the depreciation should be, but before I put it in, I must make sure this is not more than the carrying value at the beginning. If I look at this, if I now, because remember, I'm going to reduce the carrying value with further depreciation for the year. And the carrying value can never be less than R1. So I cannot reduce it by 216,000 because there's only 160,000 available. So I can only reduce this 160 with R1 less than that. So I can only reduce the 160,000 by 160,000 minus R1, which gives me 159,999 Rand. So my depreciation cannot be 216, it can only be 159,990. In part 2, we'll continue.